And now our host for the evening, David Osmond. Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby. Bobby Petticord, everybody. Give him a round of applause. I was talking to him earlier, and I found out that Bobby is single, and he was gracious enough to auction off a date. And I think it might be the hottest item. We're going to start with $5. Anybody $5? Okay, this is going to be a magical evening. How are you guys? You guys good? Come on, this is where all the cool kids hang out. How you doing tonight? What's up? Welcome to the 41st Dinner of Champions. The MS Society has boldly gone where they have never gone before. The California Science Center. What do you think of this place? It's crazy. Can I introduce you to the elephant in the room, the Space Shuttle Endeavour? Is this fantastic or not? I mean, have you ever seen anything like this? This paper mache of the Shuttle Endeavour? It's fantastic. Now, do you guys all know each other? Do you guys friends? You Facebook friends? Do you guys hang out on the weekends? Normally? Now, if you don't know each other, I want you guys to turn to the person to your left and to your right. I want you to shake hands, give a fist bump, say, "What's up? How you doing? Let's get cozy." That's right. There you go. And now that you guys know your neighbor, I want you to turn to them. I want you to borrow $100 and give it to the MS Society. No, I am thrilled. I am honored to be your host, your MC, your rodeo clown for the night. My name is David Osmond, and I am not a comedian. I am a music artist, even though Bobby told me that I need to tell jokes. And I said, well, Bobby, all my jokes, I'll be frank, are really inappropriate. And he goes, well, I got some jokes for you. So now I have more really inappropriate jokes I could share for you. And I told him, I said, all my jokes are all about real estate. And he said, well, you got to know your audience. Maybe you shouldn't. I said, yeah, there's two problems with that. Is the real estate crowd don't think those jokes are funny, and everybody else don't think they're jokes. So anyway, I am honored to be here with this particular chapter of the MS Society because I have such an affinity and love for the people in the MS world. For how many of you is this your first event with the National MS Society? Have you ever been to a dinner, a walk, a bike, a muck fest? And for how many of you, that was your first? How many of you have been to one before? Raise your hands. Awesome. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I want to thank Horn Family and everybody involved. I am so thrilled and honored to be here. I just flew in just a couple of hours ago. And boy, are my arms tired. Right, you should be up here, man. I hail from a very large musical family, and none of you guys are old enough to know who the Osmonds are. Maybe a couple of you. Have you guys ever heard of that family? It's pretty funny. I love when I pull my ID out and then people look at it, like the TSA agent when I went through security a couple hours ago. He goes, so are you like one of the Osmonds? And when I play stupid and be like, what do you mean? They go, you know, like Donnie and Marie, right? And I play stupid again and I go, well, who's that? I swear to you, I had the TSA agent singing Puppy Love to me just a couple hours ago. It was fantastic. But I come from this large family of musical performers. I've done music my whole life. But the reason that I'm really here tonight is I have such a passion for MS, for raising money, for raising awareness, and ultimately a cure. And we will get there. And I'm passionate because my dad, Alan Osmond, and he's the oldest of the performing Osmonds. He's had multiple sclerosis since I was a little boy. I've only known my dad to have something called MS. And he was diagnosed with a form called primary progressive. It took him off the stage. He doesn't perform anymore because he can't. There came a time when my dad started tripping on stage. He started dropping his microphone. He lost his guitar, he lost his saxophone, his banjo, his trumpet, and this passion for music, which I'd seen as a little boy in my dad. When he had to leave the stage, and I saw that pain as a little boy, I knew it was real, and it was a life-altering disease. But to this day, I have never heard my dad once ever complain about this disease. He's always told me since I was a little boy, he says, you know what, David? I might have MS, but MS does not have me. And he lives his life like that. Isn't that awesome? I got to tell you guys, having a dad that gave me that kind of an example and set that bar for me was the greatest gift a dad could have ever given me. Because I've done music my whole life. I fell into the family business. I just assumed every kid's dad did this thing called music, and I was going to do that too. And I've had the chance to perform my whole life, up until 10 years ago, when a strange turn of events happened in my own life. I was actually dating my wife at the time, and I did a show on Christmas Eve, 2005. And I went home and I took my shoes off and I turned to my then girlfriend and I said, Valerie, something's wrong with my legs. I feel like my feet are being crushed by a steamroller. And it was a pain I had never experienced before in my life. And I brushed it off and I went the byway. Fast forward a few months. This pain had moved all the way to my chest. It hit my hands. My eyesight started to diminish. And in a matter of months, believe it or not, I was in a wheelchair. And from the chest down, I was in a state of paralysis. And I couldn't even move my toes. And music was done, completely over. My wife and I knew we wanted to get married. I actually proposed to my wife from my wheelchair. And this crazy lady said yes, in sickness and health. Now there is, thank you. There's a very smart guy who had a theory about space. And it was about time, too. His name was Einstein, and he had some profound words to say. He says, you can live your life in two ways. You can live as if nothing is a miracle, or you can live as if everything is a miracle. If you don't believe in miracles, I urge you, you have to believe in one tonight. Because you're looking at one right here on this stage. And ever since our wedding day, I have been walking on my feet again. And I still have this stupid thing called relapsing remitting multiple sclerosis. I live with it every single day. I still feel crushing pain, a fatigue that weighs me down like you can't even imagine. A burning, crushing feeling. But I have MS, but it doesn't have me. This sounds stupid, may sound really stupid to you, but having this relapsing MS, I think it's one of the best things that's ever happened to me in my life. And this is why. Because every one of us have a story here. Now, I don't know if you know much about what MS is, multiple sclerosis. Literally, that means many scars. And the immune system attacks our brain, our central nervous system, our spine, and causes scarring and lesions. And I have them throughout my brain and my spine. And on paper, my neurologist even says, man, how are you even walking? I'm remiss to ever even complain about it because I meet people every single day that weren't able to get out of bed today. And I've been there. And I'm living a miracle every single day. I know what my disabilities are. I feel them every second. And we all have them. We all have our stuff, you know? But because I know what my disabilities are, that means I also know what my abilities are. The things I still can do. And those things that I can do mean so much more to me than ever before in my life. I drove a car today to the airport. I walked up these stairs. I'm able to stand, be back on stage, performing, doing music, doing the things that I love with a greater passion than ever before. I have nothing to complain about. I just wanted to share a little tidbit, a window into this gift that I was given. I feel like I'm living a much more richer and fuller life than I ever have before. Like when I was in my wheelchair, I was at my parents' house, and this is a hallmark moment for me. I remember sitting there watching my little brother from across the room playing with his 1-year-old son, and he was wrestling. And as I sat there in this hallmark moment, I was smiling intrinsically at that cute factor, you know? But then something changed in my mind. And I looked over at my then girlfriend, knowing we wanted to get married, knowing we wanted to have a family, and thinking to myself the whole time, I don't think I'm ever going to have that. I don't think that will ever be me. And a burning question came into my mind at that time. And we probably all asked it at some point. Why? Why did this happen to me? And it was painful, more painful than anything I was experiencing in my body. I hope you asked that question, because I learned what a powerful moment. I'm not ever allowed to ask that question ever again in my life, unless I make sure I ask the same question for every single moment of happiness and joy that comes into my life, great or small. And when my wife said yes, in sickness and health, and I flash forward, and we have 2 girls and a little boy who's 16 months. I was wrestling on the floor this morning with him. I have to force myself in the smallest moments and say, remind yourself, why did this happen to you? And all of a sudden, that coin flipped. And it's amazing how through this world of MS, and maybe this is your first time even hearing that term, but MS is a crappy way to meet great people. I swear to you, these are where the cool kids are hanging out tonight. And I can't thank the Horn family and everyone at the MS Society for putting this type of an event on. And for all of you for coming, because this is possible because of all of you. And this is oversold. This is so inspiring because you are here for this lovely family, for Christina, for me, for so many millions of people worldwide that are just hoping. It's not the disease that gets you down, guys. It's the lack of hope. And there is more hope to be had for this ugly, sick disease than ever before. More has happened in the last 5 years alone for MS research than the last 100. And we have options now. We have answers. We don't have a cure, but we're getting there. And we have things to help us manage. And so many smart people that are 1,000 times smarter than me that are getting those answers. And I'm honored to be the fly on the wall tonight to watch you work miracles, those miracles every day. One of my favorite quotes of all time by one of my favorite authors is Dr. Seuss. And I've shared it with this chapter before, but I'll share it with you tonight. Dr. Seuss said something so cool. He said, I've heard there are troubles of more than one kind. And some come from ahead, some come from behind. But I bought a big bat, and I'm ready, you see. Now my troubles, well, they're going to have troubles with me. Isn't that cool? I walked into this room about 2 hours ago. I saw this spaceship. I got goosebumps. But when I saw you guys walking in the room, it made a bigger impact on me than any of this. This is out of this world. It's amazing what we can accomplish together when we don't care who gets the credit. And you come together and we say, we have a problem here. We have to do something about this, and we're going to do it. We are doing it. Houston, we have a big problem. And we are getting big answers. Give yourselves a huge round of applause for that. Because tonight is a celebration. This is a party. I'm so excited to be here. This has made my day. This has made my week, my year. I wish my family could be here. They are definitely here in spirit. Well, it kind of feels like my family. This is about the size of an Osmond family reunion. We'll pass the mic around and sing a few songs, maybe Space Cowboy, Rocket Man, I don't know what we'll sing. But this is about the remarkable progress that MS has made in the last few years alone. And tonight, to be able to share that story with you guys in a remarkable way, again, I'm just here to watch the fireworks. This beautiful family that is making such an impact on so many. They and the MS community at large has made it possible for people with MS to dare to dream. We all have struggles. I think one of the biggest things I learned living with this MS every single day is that we all have pain. Every one of us have a story to tell. And we go through our stuff. We're either in a crisis, headed for a crisis, or coming out of a crisis. It's just part of life, you know? And that pain is inevitable. But I've also learned that despite the fact that pain comes to all of us in different forms, cancer, MS, diabetes, financial problems, addiction, depression, life is tough. But my dad says, yeah, it's tough, but so are you. So you be tough right back. Keep fighting, right? Despite the fact that pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. I see it in so many faces. Every day I meet someone I can't imagine changing places with. I met Christina today, and she's just a bright light. This beautiful family. All of you, we all have our struggles, but see the joy of life. The fighting through the struggles makes it worthwhile. And I'm so honored to be here to see this moment happen.